xCloud has an amazing new admin panel, and I'd like to give you a quick tour. So let's get started. We're going to start here on the top row. We have a Teams drop-down menu. The concept of Teams in xCloud allows you to have different permissions for different groups of people across different servers, etc. I have just the one here, but they're easy to add. Then we have a server selector. I have 2 servers, but say you had hundreds, you could easily do a search right here for just servers. Then there's a drop-down for my sites. These are all my sites, and again, if you had hundreds, there's a handy search tool there. In fact, let me show you what it looks like. Then we have a general search tool for either servers or sites, and you can access that from anywhere. This little gadget is for recent events inside your panel. So it's going to be everything that happens, whether there's a new server or a server goes away or a site goes up or a site goes down or something like that. Then we have notifications, and then the traditional profile manager. One cool thing that's here, though, is the theme switcher. There's the light mode and the dark mode, and I'm going to stick with dark mode. You can also change languages, and there are quite a few. So then, down below is the overview of your profile at xCloud. I have 2 servers, 6 sites. None have vulnerabilities. There's a billing gadget. There's a list of my servers. It only lists 5, but then you can click to view all. And same for sites. I have 6, but there are 5 here. And there's a backup manager here and billing. I haven't set those up yet, but that's where that would go. So then, on the left is a servers icon, and that would get you the same thing as if you clicked total servers here. And similar for sites and total sites. So I'm going to click servers. And here are my 2. And you can do a bunch of stuff right from here. It tells you what's going on here. There's 3 dots. You can restart the server. You can hard reboot. You can restart different services. You can clone it, delete it, all kinds of stuff. You can also show it in a row. Now you have a nice add new site button right there and all that. But above this, you can sort by type of web server. You can sort by name or created time and by status. And then, of course, a new server button. I'm not going to do a deep dive on servers. I will pull it up here real quick because we do this in another video. But here you can see there's management, monitoring, security, and the sites on that server, etc. So next I want to click on the sites icon. And here are all my sites, regardless of type or what server they're on. So there's this one on Topher server, and then the rest are on the group client server. And from right here, there is a magic login and a bunch of stuff that you can do to this individual site. At the top, you can search again, like before. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let me show you this. You can get this view also. You can search. You can filter by server. So you can say, I only want sites from this particular server. Sort by name or oldest and newest. And then, this is pretty cool. You can filter by sites, status, and type. Then, from here, you can, these buttons are for doing group things. So you can see I have 2 sites selected right now. So if I clicked visit site, it would open both, each in their own tab. Same for site logs, updates, magic login, etc. And then there are even more things here. So if you want to manage your firewall for multiples, you can do that, and it will open them in new tabs. You can show how many items you want. So again, if you have hundreds of sites, then that can be really handy. Next, I want to look at add-ons. So there are 2 things here that look similar but are very different. Mail delivery is your website's sending email. So like password resets, comment notifications, etc. Mailbox is actually your email. So an inbox and folders and the whole 9 yards. So you can get these separately. So $1 a month for mail delivery, $1 a month for a mailbox. And then we have Site Security Pro, powered by PatchStack. Now, PatchStack is an amazing service that keeps track of vulnerabilities in a lot of things. In our particular case here, WordPress. And if you connect it, then you get notified before you might otherwise get notified by the plugin developer or something like that. That's $2 per site per month, and it's super useful. I like it a lot. But now that we're here on the add-ons thing, I want to show you this other sidebar menu. There's a link here for vulnerable sites. I don't have any. Updates Manager is super cool. You can update plugins and themes from here across all your sites, regardless of server, and it's all in one spot, and that's great. Right here, there's also an update history. I haven't done any updates, so it doesn't say it, but this will let you know when a plugin was updated, which WordPress doesn't do. So that's really useful. Global settings, site backups. There's a whole nother video on backups, so I'm not going to get too deep. But this is where you set up your template for backups for sites. You still need to tell an individual site to use this template or a custom one, but this is your baseline. Customization for accessing the file manager, whether or not it's always available, AdMiner for the database, etc. You can set up SSH keys, and from there, assign them to specific servers. So if I go to create, I put in a name, I paste in my public key, and then I can say always provision to new servers or not. And as I'm entering this one, which servers to add it to. I love SSH, so that's really cool. Integrations. I'm not going to click on every one of them. Server provider. So my servers are all on xCloud, but you could use DigitalOcean or Hostinger or AWS or Google Cloud or whatever you want. This is where you would set up those connections so that when you want to create a new server, it just works. Cloudflare. If you connect your xCloud account to Cloudflare, then when you set up a new site, particularly a domain name, then it's super easy to just turn on DNS, enable Cloudflare caching, all the services that they have. It makes a really nice integration. Storage provider for backups. So wherever you want to put it, AWS, Google Cloud, FTP, whatever. You set those up ahead of time so that when it's time to set up backups, it's just a single click. Your email provider. So let's say you're sending a lot of emails from your site and you want SendGrid or something like that. You can enable that integration here. Notification. I'm going to click on this one because it'll be easier to show you. I don't have any here. But you can set up xCloud to send notifications to Slack, WhatsApp, or Telegram, which is pretty slick. And of course, there's your Git provider, which could be GitHub or something else, whatever you want. And then under others, you can set up your Object Cache Pro license. There's a billing panel, which works exactly as you'd expect. You can pay your bills, find out how much you owe, that sort of thing. Subscriptions. These are third-party things that xCloud integrates with. So there's some team stuff, email subscriptions, PatchStack, white labeling. So you can set up xCloud as a white label host and be your own host, that sort of thing. Then here we have notifications. And this is where you say what you want to be notified about and where it should go, that sort of thing. Here we have all events, which is very, very similar to what you saw under this dropdown, but a much better panel with lots of pages and filterable. You can see what kinds of events, team members. I'm the only team member, but there you are. Blueprints are cool. I'm set up for WordPress, and so I can create blueprint to say, when I make a new site, I want it to have this theme, these plugins, etc. These three came with xCloud, which is slick, but you can easily make your own. Just click this button right here. You choose a theme, plugin, custom items, CLI script, etc. Then site snapshots. These are slick. I made this one for this video because I made these sites. And I didn't want to go through all the steps every time. And so you can go to any site In fact, let me open one up here. And under Actions, take Snapshot. And then when you go to create a new site, you can use this setup, this snapshot, and not have to answer all the same questions every time, which is really great. And then down here we have reseller hosting, which we talked about a few minutes ago. You can set up your own stuff. On the left, billing is that billing menu item I showed you before. And then under settings, we get the same thing. Now, all teams is where you can manage teams. And so you can create different groups of people that have access to different sites and servers, etc. And then lastly, down at the bottom is support. So they have a great support system. You can tell I haven't used it, but it works well. I've interacted with them and they're very responsive. It's really great. You can just create a ticket right here and you put in your team, subject, topic, priority, description, attachments. You can say which site it's related to and which server it's related to, etc. So there we are. That is the admin panel for xCloud. It's well organized. It's attractive. It does a ton of stuff, more than most hosts that I've experienced. So I hope it works well for you.